What's up, meatbags? It's the often imitated, never duplicated Tony TGD, and you're watching a clip from the latest Gabbing with Geeks live stream. Now, if you like what you see, like the video, share it with your friends, and of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Now, with that all out of the way, let's get into the latest clip from Gabbing with Geeks. So, the Callisto Protocol, they got issues. Vinbar says it looks pretty. Bob says it doesn't look pretty.
It does look pretty. It's just there's issues with it.
Well, when he said it looked nice, you said no, it doesn't, Bob.
What Bob
Just because
meant
I put the Chiron on doesn't mean you get to change your mind, all right?
what
Well,
Bob meant was it doesn't look good for it.
Well, it has loads of shader compilation stutter, so it doesn't look nice. No, it's very stuttery and a mess. It looks awful.
There you go. All right. This is from Kit Guru, a website I've never heard of until today. But it says the Callisto Protocol's review embargo will lift on the game's launch day. This was 5 days ago. We're a little behind on the news, as we always are. But this is always a red flag. When you have a review embargo, whether it's for a movie, TV show, video game, record, and the reviews are day of, red flag that the studio behind it has no confidence in the product.
Yeah, usually.
Says the Callisto Protocol is looking to be one of the most exciting new IPs releases of 2022, with the game set to arrive in a few short days on the 2nd of December, which was yesterday. In a slight moment of potential concern, it has now been revealed that the Callisto Protocol's review embargo will lift on the game's day of release. Fucking Bob. As reported by Twisted Voxel, the Callisto Protocol will see its review embargo lift on the 2nd of December 2022 at 6 a.m., the same day as the game's release date. While not necessarily cause for concern in its own right, it is worth noting as some games have in the past used such tight embargo deadlines in order to mask potential criticism and to prevent players from possibly canceling their pre-orders. I mean, that's 100% what they did.
Yeah.
100%. And I do love that we're reading this 5 days later because they're like, hey, this might be a problem. It might not. Turns out it was. Spoiler alert. That being said, we have in the past also seen universally acclaimed titles that have review embargoes set as their launch date, as was the case with Doom 2016, so it can go either way. Now, regardless, those who have purchased the game physically will be met with a rather hefty launch day patch, weighing in at almost 27 gigabytes. Hopefully, neither the patch nor the review embargo is cause for concern, though we simply have to wait and see.
Uh-oh.
Doom, doom, doom. And the narrator, this is where the narrator comes out, but they didn't have to wait. Because we got the results. And the results say, Bob, you are not the father. The Callisto Protocol launches to mostly negative Steam reviews because it's a stuttering nightmare. This is from PC Gamer, Molly Taylor. The stuttering protocol doesn't seem to be getting on well with our rigs. I mean, look, it looks nice.
Yeah, the gameplay looks awful though still.
The Callisto Protocol has proven to be a surprisingly divisive release. Things like its combat, endless death animations, and narrative have split opinions across the board. Our own Sean saw the positives as well as the problems, scoring it a 79 in his Callisto Protocol review. The one thing many seem to agree on, however, is that the PC release sucks hard. How can you give it a 79 and then say it sucks hard? I know Sean is not the person who wrote this, but Sean doesn't seem to know video games very well if he's giving it a 79 and they're calling it a stuttering mess.
Yeah, That's high praise for a stuttering mess.
As of writing, the game is sitting at a 26% positive review on Steam, though that number was as low as 22% earlier in the day. That seems brutal, and it may be to an extent, but performance issues are making the game close to unplayable for many. The biggest offender is stuttering, something that was noted in the performance side of our review. A quick side note, Bob. You're the PC gamer of the group, right?
Yep, at the
Okay.
moment.
As a PC gamer, do you think that review outlets should have play the game on both a minimum rig, rig with the minimum settings, and one that has like the higher end, or do you think Wild West, whatever they play it on, it doesn't matter?
That's a tricky one. I think they should play it on a
Do you think maybe they should just list their specs? Like, these are the specs we played it on?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think they should list the specs and the settings they played it on, because that could make a difference.
They should play they should review the game on the recommended settings that the game has given you.
Well, they don't. Well, they do recommended specs. I don't know if they do recommended settings.
Sorry, recommended specs. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Well,
and then
that's
review it at that level. And if it's a stuttering mess, then you can review it low. If you're trying to play it on a machine that's weaker than what they recommend, then it's your own fault at that point.
Well, from my understanding, this stuttering issue is more of a engine than a hardware situation. It's to do with the way parts of the game are compiled. Shader compilation stutter.
So
Blinded said I wouldn't recommend. Unfortunately, I'm disappointed in the game. You were looking forward to it too.
I was super hyped for it, but once I saw the gameplay, it looks awful. Very linear, basically more of a melee combat game than a shooting game. Your melee attacks take down enemies quicker than your guns.
Oh, Potion Sword is in the chat. He says, usually, but I don't believe this is the case. There was a day one patch for PC that fixed the stuttering, so they delayed review. They should have just explained it. Do you believe that?
So is the 27 gigabyte patch fixed the stuttering then? Is that what we're saying?
That's what Potion's saying. But here's the issue, right? This is one of the trickiest things about reviewing video games, because a movie, right? They don't go, here's the new Superman movie, right? But we're not giving you all the CGI. The CGI is going to be released on release day. We're giving you an early copy with no CGI, right? No, that doesn't happen. When you go see the movie early, it's complete. With a game, in order to get these in the hands of reviewers, the game has to go, like at least 2 weeks, if not more. A playable build to reviewers. And then if there's issues and they got to start working on a patch, that's going to be a day one patch. Well, the reviewers are not getting the day one patch 2 weeks early, right?
Yeah.
So now they're playing it on an outdated build, and they're not like, well, fuck it, we'll just push the release date back a week, so that way these guys get the new build and they get the patch, and everything's all good, right? So, it's a shame on them. Maybe they should have said something. The developers behind the game just said, "Hey, look, we had issues. We weren't able to get a current up-to-date build to reviewers, so they're working on an outdated build. They don't have the day one patch, obviously." I mean, what else are you going to do? You could either delay the game.
Well, that's what they should do, and then fix it and release it finished, like they used to do in the old days. This downloading tons of gigabytes of patches is pissing me off, to be honest.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, so if you're buying it physically, I can understand that, right? But like this day one patch, if I got to download Callisto Protocol, I'm already downloading the game. So what's another 27 gigabytes, right?
Yeah.
It's not like it's not a patch at that point, because I'm already downloading the game. It's just like additional data download. Whereas if I had the physical, where you're like, well, now I actually have to download something to play it.
Yeah, but if you have the physical and it's a day one patch, you got to put the disc in your machine and it's got to install off the disc anyway. So you got to wait to play anyway and also download any patches.
Yeah, that's right, because there's nothing on the disc anyway but a fucking license. All right. Where we at? Yeah. It says it's mostly present. It's mostly present when loading into new areas or either side of cutscenes and animations. Unfortunately, with the latter two being present throughout a large chunk of the Callisto Protocol, the poor performance is significantly noticeable. A couple of Steam reviews jokingly refer to the game as the Stuttering Protocol, while several others have called it a mess. Even with several people owning RTX 30 series GPUs, and some even 40 series, stutters and frame drops, even with the ray tracing turned off, are rampant. It looks to be thanks to shader compilation, a common cause of stuttering, especially with Unreal Engine 4, the chosen engine for the Callisto Protocol. What's up, Blinded? How you loving the game?
Oh, the game is doo-doo. Sorry.
Has the patch not fixed it, Blinded? No.
You
Oh,
can't
this
fix
is
a bad
this is
game.
PC. You can't
I mean the
fix a bad
stuttering.
game.
I'm talking. I just mean the issues, the stuttering issues. The game itself.
This is
is
only on
different.
PC. It's not on consoles. So I can't
Yeah.
speak to that.
You're a bit quiet.
Yeah.
I got turned up. I'm on my earbuds, so
Oh.
Let me see.
all right. How's that sound?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. Yeah, I can only speak to the gameplay and the story. The story's not so good. I would say there's no story, to be honest. Kind of
What
sucks
about
because
what about the gameplay? How's the gameplay?
the gameplay is also not so great too. Yeah, it's
The
like
story
it's
in the
pretty much like you can tell that they rushed this game out just because it's like the gameplay is it feels more like one-on-one combat, but then there's times where you're being swarmed by enemies and then you're like, what the fuck? And then the dodge is tied to the fucking analog stick, so it just makes everything feel very janky. You're like dodging enemies and then you're dodging someone and you land right into another enemy. It's like, who designed this? This is fucking terrible.
maybe the
Yeah.
story and the gameplay would be DLC to go along with the death animations.
That's what it seems like. That's what it seems like.
It looks terrible to me. I'm surprised it got as high as 79.
Now, if you look at some of the major outlets, they are ripping this shit. They ripping it
Yeah.
apart.
Yeah, I did hear something about the dodge mechanic being janky. Let's get to the end of this. It's a real shame to see the game suffering so badly at launch. I'm not much of a horror fan, but I was hooked in when I saw a preview at Gamescom, and hope seemed high for the Dead Space spiritual successor. For now, Striking Distance hasn't acknowledged the issues PC users are facing. The number of Steam reviews continues to grow, and thankfully for the developer, it appears that the positive review percentage is steadily increasing, and not all players are having such major issues. It's still firmly sitting at the mostly negative rating right now, though, and until a performance patch is pushed out, I can't see that changing. Terrible, terrible. I know lots of people were hyped for this. Potion says it sounds like a get good problem.
No, that's a good one because I did say I wasn't gonna die. Game's just doo-doo. It's also I wouldn't mind if it was a short game, but like the story really only picks up at the ending, and you're like, this is kind of stupid. Like, why are you dropping all this information now? This is like the best part of the story.
Just a huge exposition dump right at the end.
Yeah, you're like, what the hell? Like, I mean, it's pretty much like Dead Space, but it's not as it's more like you use that fucking baton most of the time. Like you're not really shooting all the enemies. So it just makes it really janky and it's just kind of repetitive. Like you can tell they spent a lot of time with the graphics and making it look good. Hiring the talent and stuff, but the game's just it doesn't even live up to the opening. The opening is like the best part of the game, and then that's it. They were like, why are you in this prison? They don't explain that until later on, and then it's like, why do I even care at this point?
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah, wait for a sale. That's what I
Mm.
say.
Thank you for watching another clip from Gabbing with Geeks. And remember, you could catch Gabbing with Geeks live every Saturday at 7:05 Central Standard Time. That's right, we go 2, 3, 4 hours. Sometimes we go all night, and we're always having fun. And if you're looking to see more from the show that this clip was taken from, you can click the link that's on your screen right now, or you can enjoy another video from this channel by clicking the other link. And remember, if you haven't done so, subscribe. Thank you, and as always, love, peace, booty grease. I'm out this bitch.